Alright, just picked up my first mini from the Warhammer store. On the way home, I also stopped at Walmart to grab a couple paints. So I think I'm good to go. Let's give it a couple good shakes, and then I think we're off to the races. My buddy said this game's pretty cool, but you have to paint the models for it, which I don't know. I mean, I haven't really done any sort of the art since I was a kid, but I mean, really, how hard can it be? It's like riding a bike. Everybody can do it, surely. Looking at this guy, I mean, he seems easy enough, so yeah, let's give him a shot. Alright, so let's go ahead and get a big old thick, nice brush of paint. I think I want to do Blood Angels. I sprayed them black, then I just have to paint them red. So, yeah, it seems easy. So I guess let's start it on the shoulder. It's nice and prominent. And we'll see how this paint behaves. Oh man, that is a real nice thick coat of red. That really, really pops. I mean, you can barely see the primer underneath at all. My friend said this was going to take me weeks, months even, to get done. I'm going to have these wrapped up in no time and playing by next week. Really had me worried when he said I should watch a bunch of videos to prepare for this, but honestly, I mean, this was going really well right off the rip. I only have to go over each part once, and I get this super bright color. So far, this hobby seems awesome. I mean, it's definitely not as complicated as everyone makes it out. These guys are basically just red, and I already have the majority of the model done. It's only been, what, a couple minutes? That means I'm a couple hours away from a completed army. Man, I gotta call my buddy and tell him to be ready for a game in a couple days. I mean, who needs YouTube tutorials? Not this guy. I mean, looks like I may have a couple streaks that aren't super bright in his backpack, so I'll just grab another brush load and we'll clean that right up. Man, I love Warhammer so far. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Grimdork Minis. If you've ever slapped on a base coat and wondered, why doesn't this look like the studio box art, this is the video for you. Today, we're going to be breaking down what might just be the single most useful hobby tool in our hobby toolbox, layering. Whether you're a total beginner or someone who's been dry brushing since the 80s, this video is going to break down layering in a digestible, step-by-step fashion, including how to set up a wet palette for paint thinning, point out what other tutorials miss, and leave you with a recipe for setting up vibrant and crisp paint jobs for many years to come. Go ahead and grab your brushes, and let's get going. Now, before we can discuss layering, we have to understand thinning our paints. In my opinion, it is the most essential technique in miniature painting. And to do that, it's a lot easier if you use a wet palette. Now, these can run you about 20 to 40 bucks, so I want to go ahead and show you how to create one from scratch. All you're going to need is a Tupperware container, preferably one with a lid. Then you need about 5 to 6 sheets of paper towels, and you want to douse that with water, just enough to coat the entire towel, but not enough that you have standing water sitting over the top of them. Once you have that, you can take a sheet of parchment paper, importantly not wax covered, and lay it over the top, making sure to smooth it out and wet both sides. Then there you have it, your nice, cheap, and easy wet palette. So a wet palette is going to allow for our paint to naturally thin as it absorbs some water. It also is going to keep our paint activated for longer and prevents drying. All around, it is a grade A tool. When I'm placing paint down the layer, I like to drop it in puddles, then combine them as needed to create a gradual transition. For our Ultramarine example, I can take a blue-gray as our deep color, blue as our mid-tone, and then white for our highlight, and then slowly and gradually mix in a little bit, pulling a little bit of paint from the center of the puddle out, and then slowly blending it to create a nice highlight transition. This will allow for our next steps of layering to go much smoother and have much easier color transitions. So as we get into base coating, I want to give you the basic idea of demystifying layering. At its core, it's a technique of building up color in thin, translucent layers to create smooth transitions, sharper highlights, and depth on your miniatures. It's not really just painting a lighter color on top, it's about controlling how much of the previous color shows through, where the paint goes, and how you build from shadow to light. Think of it like Photoshop layers. Each one adds a little something, but the magic happens when they all blend together. It kind of lives in the space between a base coat and a full-blown blend, not too fast like dry brushing, not too complex like wet blending. So let's talk base coating. This is the first real step where your mini goes from this gray plastic to something that actually looks like it belongs in the Warhammer universe. A base coat is your first full layer of color, the foundation of everything that comes next. It's going to be your shading, your highlighting, your weathering. It all depends how clean and solid your base coating stage goes. So first things first, let's thin your paints. And I really promise it's essential. This isn't just some hobby gatekeeping, it's really practical. If you paint straight from the pot, odds are it's going to be too thick. You'll end up clogging your details, leaving brush strokes, as shown in the previous example, and wondering why your model looks like it got dunked in wax. You want your paint to flow off the brush without pooling or streaking. When it comes to brush choice, go ahead and try to match the size to the area you're working on. If you're doing larger tanks or armor, you want to go ahead and do larger brushes. If you're working on a mini like this, I typically go for a size 2, size 3, something with a nice tip, that way I can use the same brush for the entire process. Now if you make a mistake, and you will, it's not the end of the world. Say you paint red on a shoulder pad and it splashes onto the knee somehow. Don't panic and try to fix it right away while it's still wet. Go ahead and let it dry completely, then go over it with your original base coat color. As long as you've thinned your paints, this shouldn't really be much of an issue. If you try to fix it while it's still wet, you can end up smearing paint everywhere and end up needing to redo a section just because of the texture that's created. Please don't ask me how I know that. I might have done it a time or two. Honestly, a lot of beginner paint jobs don't fall apart in the highlighting or shading step, they fall apart here. Rushed, chunky base coats are like trying to paint a mural on sandpaper. But if you slow down, use the right brush, thin your paints, and give each layer time to dry in between doing your coats, you're going to end up with a smooth, clean foundation, and every technique that comes next is going to look 10 times better. Alright, so you've got your mini base coated now. It's looking flat, but it's looking clean, which is exactly where you want to be. Now it's time to do the thing that actually makes your model pop off the table. I'm talking about layering and, in relation, highlighting. These are the techniques that turn your plastic from neat to wow, did you just paint that? So let's start simple. Layering is just putting a slightly lighter version of your base coat over the raised area of the model. That's it. Not really scary, you're not doing wizardry, you're basically just doing controlled coloring inside the lines with slightly more expensive crayons. The whole idea is to create a gradient, a smooth transition from shadow to light, by layering progressively brighter colors over the top edges or most visible surfaces of a model. Now, the first thing you need to understand about layering is going to be contrast and control. The goal isn't just to throw on a brighter color, it's about deciding where the light is hitting your model and building that up in steps. Think about where the sun would shine on the model if we were walking around outside. Top of the head, shoulders, upper chest, maybe the tops of the knees. Those are going to be your top highlight zones. Here's a mistake a lot of beginners make. They pick a new color that's way too bright compared to the base. You go from dark red to neon orange in one step and wonder why it looks a little funny. So for this, you want to work in small jumps, just 1 or 2 steps lighter. As I'd shown when we were doing the wet palette, you want to go ahead and mix your 2 colors typically. So you identify your deep color, your mid-tone, and your highlight, and then do small mixes of all of those. Now, how do you apply these layers? You're going to want to thin your paint, again, but even more than before. Somewhere on the consistency of skim milk, not watery, but definitely not on the translucent side. The idea is to glaze this new color on top of the base coat, letting a little bit of that original tone peek through underneath. You really don't want to cover the full base, you just want to gently push the color upward. So with this, you'll be painting fewer areas as you increase in color and brightness. The base coat covers everything. The first layer covers maybe 70% of that area, the second layer, 50%, third, and so on. Just the highest edges or corners. Think of it like a triangle of light. You're building towards a point, and each smaller layer is the next step up on that pyramid. Now, this is going to take practice. Your first few minis are going to look a little chalky or streaky. That's normal. The trick is to let each layer fully dry before adding on to the next. If you rush it and the paint's still wet, it's going to smear or could potentially reactivate, and you're going to end up with muddy results. As we did in our base coat, make sure you're waiting, taking your time. It means a ton for this. So let's go ahead and talk brushes for a second. You really don't need a Kolinsky Sable that costs more than your model, but you do want a brush with a fine point. Size 1 or 2 round brushes with a sharp tip will get the job done. What matters more than the brand is brush control. And here's a tip: paint with the side of the brush when doing broad layers and with the tip for fine edge work. Always wick off excess moisture on a paper towel before touching your model, as you don't want to paint flooding out unexpectedly. Now, as you get more confident, you can push layering into highlighting, which is just more focused layering. Highlights are like the top of your triangle. They're the brightest point, right where the imaginary light source is slapping your mini in the face. You'll want to use a much lighter color here, but sparingly. A tiny dab on the forehead, the cheekbone, the knuckles, the top edge of a shoulder pad. And here's the magic: you can highlight with a totally different hue if you want. Let's say your orc skin is bright green, you could highlight it with yellow-green to warm it up, or with a pale turquoise to give it a cooler feel. That little shift in hue adds complexity and makes your mini look way more advanced than it actually is. Oh, and yeah, edge highlighting is technically layering too, just very precise. It's when you take that lightest highlight color and gently drag it along the sharpest edges of the model. This takes a lot of practice to keep your hand steady, but it gives you that kind of Games Workshop heavy metal style approach that makes your armor plates look crisp and defined. If you struggle with this, make sure that you're using the side of your brush while you're doing this. Just lightly touch the edge of the model with the side, not the point. Here's another underrated trick, repeating the layer. If one pass looks too streaky or too subtle, let it dry, do it again. 2 or 3 very thin layers are way better than one thick one. This helps build up that smooth transition that we talked about. This looks professional even if you're just starting out. And I don't feel like you need to reinvent color theory every time you pick up a brush. Games Workshop and other paint lines already designed their paint ranges to step up logically, like Mephiston Red to Evil Sun Scarlet to Wild Rider Red. You can even go 4 or 5 steps deep if you really want to show off. To wrap it up, here's what layering really is. It's just controlled patience. You're applying increasingly lighter versions of your base color in smaller and smaller areas, building up the illusion of light. That's it. And yeah, it takes practice. But once it clicks, you'll never want to go back. Suddenly your models don't just have color, they have volume, presence, and life. So layer smart, thin your paints, keep your hands steady. Most importantly, don't be afraid to go slow. Alright, let's bring it all home. If you made it this far, you now understand what I think is the most important technique in miniature painting, layering. Not flashy, not gimmicky, but is the foundation of every good paint job out there. You start with a clean, smooth base coat, 2 thin layers, right brush thin paint, no rushing. That alone already gets you 50% of the way to a great looking model. We start layering slightly lighter tones applied in thinner and thinner areas, slowly building up that sense of light, depth, and realism. We're not just coloring plastic, we're telling a story with light and shadow. Whether you're painting a Grimdork Ultramarine or a bright, flashy Bad Moon, layering gives you total control over the final look. You can keep it gritty and moody, or crank the saturation and go full comic book. It's flexible, it's scalable, and it works on every model, every army, every style. Yeah, it might take some patience, it might feel like slow progress at first, but trust me, once you get the hang of it, layering becomes second nature. You'll stop thinking about it like a chore and start seeing it as the fun part, where your mini goes from just colored in to actually alive. So next time you sit down to paint, take your time, focus on your brush control, thin your paints, let your layers dry, and keep building the light. Doesn't matter if it's your first model or your 100th, layering is always worth it. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me. If this helped you out, please consider giving a like, leaving a comment, tell me what you're working on if you have any questions, and also maybe leaving a sub and turning on notifications just so you don't miss future videos. I have a few tutorials planned for beginners coming up in the next few weeks that'll just help you go from beginner to pro painter in no time. Alrighty, thanks for sticking around, and have a good one.